Good morning, class. Today we will start the second chapter, Writing and the City Life. So, in the first chapter of this book, we have discussed the life of the early man, how he was a food gatherer and led to a nomadic life. Next, the life of the early man, it was revolutionized when he became a food grower and began to lead a settled life. So the early men lived in a group, but the basic unity of society was the family. So it was the earliest form of society. The early phases of the development of man and society have come to light by the discoveries of the archaeologists, which they have made from the study of fossils, remains of bone, stone tools, and the cave paintings. Early cities. So let's see the meaning of the city. We all talk of cities and a large number of people that lives in the city. But we must know exactly what is a city. So we generally think the city as a modern or the recent development. But cities, they have existed for thousands of years and have their root in the greater river civilization of Mesopotamia, Egypt, and China. The English word city, it comes from the Latin word civitas, which describes a highly organized community like the city-state of ancient Greece. So the life of the Greek in the city-states was completely absorbed in the life of the city. The city provided a man with his religion, his amusement, his education, and sought to satisfy his every need. The origin of the cities and the growth of early urban societies. So students, the men in the Paleolithic age, they were wanderers. As long as the men had to move from place to place, they lived in a group of men, women, and children. The group was the mean of mutual protection as well as help. When the men, okay, they became the food growers, the life became more settled and the family unit came into existence. Then they continued to live in large groups but functioned more though family units than the group. The family began to build. Now they began to build mud houses with thatched roof. These were their places of shelter from heat and cold and of protection for wild animals. So most of these houses, they were close to one another and were surrounded by a common fence of prickly bushes or mud walls. So number of family, it would constitute a village. The village was small and you can see the huts were close to each other. So gradually some of the villages they grew into large one. So these villages were often found in the river valley where water were easily available for their crops. So the number of people living in the villages they increased. As the need of the people increased, new occupation was started. So these villages became prosperous because they were now producing more food than they required for their subsistence. So they could now exchange their surplus food for other things such as cloth, pottery, ornament. So it was no longer necessary for every family living in the village to work in the field and produce its own food. The weavers or the carpenters or the potters, they exchange their article which they produce for food from those families which produced food. With the growth of a new professions and increase in trade, the craftsmen they begin to live together and thus you can see big villages it's grow into towns. So the beginning of the living of the people in the town is generally taken as the start of the civilization. So the first phase in the growth of cities it began between 5 and 6,000 years ago with the settlement which grew into what we call River Valley civilization of Mesopotamia, present-day Iraq, Egypt, India and China. So these towns no more dependent on agriculture and domesticated animal or domestic animals. As the civilization grew in size and trade routes grew in numbers, these towns it became the centers for merchants, craftsmen, traders and government officials. The division between town and the country, rural and urban, had begun. A similar path was taken by later civilizations such as the Greek, the Iranian, the Roman and the Great Zimbabwe. So we make some general observation about the growth of the cities. For the most part, cities have grown as a result of three factors: economic growth, natural increase, and rural-urban migrations. There are, however, some exceptions to this general rule. For example, some cities are created by government to lessen the burden of population on large cities. Sometimes new cities are made the capital of the country. So people they move to the city for various reasons, but the most significant reason is the economic. When a city economy is prospering, it attracts people from villages. The promise of job and comforts, glamours and glitter attract the people to the cities. So there are also push factors. Drought and famines or exploitations of farmers can cause extreme rural poverty, and that pushes people out from the villages and to settle in the town. Throughout the histories, the cities have been the promoters and the centers of high civilization. Urban dwellers, they have proved to be more receptive to new ideas and change than their rural neighbors. Townsmen have been interested in wealth accumulation and the use of wealth for better living. So the town had been instigators of freedom since they had a middle class, that is a class without tradition and conservatism bred of traditions. Moreover, you can see urban centers, they have been marketplace areas where goods were exchanged, deposit points for merchant fleets and carvas. Cities, they are linked to commerce. The early cities in Iraq, Mesopotamia around 3000 BC. So the archaeologists, they hold the city life began in Mesopotamia, a part of the modern Iraq. The name Mesopotamia, it is derived from the Greek word meso, meaning middle, and potamus, meaning river. So here you can see Mesopotamia is the land between two rivers, Euphrates and Tigris. So students, here you can see Mesopotamia, the land between the two rivers, and here you can see the two rivers, the two mainstream, one is the Euphrates, another one is the Tigris river. So Mesopotamia, it is located between the two rivers, Euphrates and Tigris. The archaeologists, they have established the civilization that appeared earlier in Mesopotamia or in the southern Mesopotamia, Iraq, than anywhere else. So if we talk about the archaeologists, they have established that the civilization that appeared was in the southern Mesopotamia. So urban settlements, monumental architectures and writing, they were all in existence by 3500 BC in Iraq. So the cities that appeared in Egypt several centuries after the Mesopotamia. And in the Indus Valley civilization, even the pre-Harappan or the early Harappan phase, they with its small fortified towns did not came into existence till 3000 BC. And in the Sumeria also, Mesopotamia, there were 15 to 20 large cities, each surrounded by a smaller town, villages and hamlets. So in the Indus Valley region, by contrast, there were two enormous metropolises and a host of smaller settlements with no medium-sized town in between this time period. Okay, later it developed. In Egypt, people did not know of any cities of that early period, so the Mesopotamia cities were different from the rigid, almost military-looking cities of the Indus Valley cities. In contrast with the Indus Valley cities, the Mesopotamia cities had winding lanes. They appeared to have grown up as circumstances required without the benefit of preconceived town plan. Towns elsewhere in Western Asia, which arose rather later in the 2000 BC, were more obviously based on those of Mesopotamia model. So these cities that developed around temples and were the centers of long distance trade.